Welcome to round 2 of watching me do a whole slew of little ink drawings on the fly. This video is going to be about 12 drawings in time-lapse form. And if you want to see one of these drawn in real time, all slowed down, make sure you go back to my YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to at Poimon Law, and watch the previous round of me doing this, where I go through about 18 drawings as well in time-lapse after showing you one of them in slowed down real time. I talked a little bit in that video about how just diving into a drawing like this with pen can be really scary and exhilarating at the same time. The other thing I want to talk about in relation to working with ink without the benefit of a safety net, i.e. a preliminary sketch, is that it forces your mind to enter into the moment. Because you're highly engaged in really plotting out how your image is developing in real time as you go, making constant decisions about each and every line. And it takes you in, or it takes me in at least, into this almost meditative state where I'm only conscious of the immediate moment. It really sucks me into what's called the flow state. Now, this is a state where you lose track of time when you become so engrossed in something that you're doing, some activity like drawing, that it's really the only thing that's on your mind, and your brain is taken up with being completely enveloped with your task at hand. I don't always achieve this flow state when I'm creating. Sometimes a piece of art is painstakingly slow, and I have to force myself to keep to the task at hand instead of getting distracted by random stuff around me or fiddling around with every single little social media beep that comes through on my phone. And then things start to drag and you don't get much done, and it's procrastination death via 1,000 cuts. So I really love it when instead this insane level of absorption happens, and it happens without you noticing. I mean, that's part of it, right? You just kind of lose track of everything. And suddenly I look at the clock and, oh no, it's 2 a.m. and I've got to wake up at 6 tomorrow morning. That's happened all too many times. And the thing was, that happened to me many, many times while I was working on this Succulent Dragon project. And that's how I know when I'm on the right track, artistically and developmentally speaking, that I'm doing something right, is when I do achieve this kind of state, because that means that I'm really heading into something that fully draws me in, that fully engages me on all levels, not just the mechanical aspect of what I'm doing and creating and drawing, but mentally as well. And I credit a large part of that in the case of these drawings to the fact that even on the larger illustrations that I worked on during this project, I left a lot of the details up to this sort of on-the-fly drawing type of creation. I didn't plot out all my details, even on my planned images, my planned larger, more complicated illustrations. I would sketch out my major points, the major elements that I really wanted to hit, so that I know how all the important compositional aspects were, and I made sure not to miss any of those. And then from there, I left a lot of the details up to the moment, up to when I, take up my pen and start actually doing it. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say briefly today. Thanks, as always, to my Patreon members. You guys keep me going on the video production. If you're interested in joining in to my Patreon, you can find that at www.patreon.com/StephanieLaw. You can also find out more about the Succulent Dragon Kickstarter coloring book at succulentdragons.shadowscapes.com. This book is going to be available for pre-orders right now, actually, during my Kickstarter that goes from February 20th to March 16th. So if you like what you're seeing here, these little vignettes, and these are just the little adornments that go along with the titles of each of the main illustrations. So these are not even the main ones. If you do want to go see the main illustrations, please go check that out at the website that I just said, succulentdragons.shadowscapes.com. All right, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and thank you for joining me today.